Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself to all of you. I am Arya Raditya Damarjati. My student number is B1024181027. I am the student of University of Tanjung Pura in Faculty Economic and Business. In this semester, I take Human Resource Management. My lecturer is Sir Adi Mursalin. On this good occasion, I would like to answer the SRM midterm quiz. Well, my dear audience, watch me and listen to me carefully. I would like to answer the question on part A. How many times do you attend the Zoom meeting class of SRM? Why? In the Human Resource Management class that was held at Zoom meeting, I only did not attend the meeting once because at the time my connection was poor and I was out of town. Therefore, I could not attend. Did you ever miss the Zoom meeting class of SRM? How many times did you miss the Zoom meeting class and why? That I said in number 1, I have not attended Human Resource Management only once. So far, I have followed Human Resource Management lesson well. The third, what is the title of the SRM book used in Learn SRM? What does the book tell you? The title of the SRM book used in Learning SRM is a 10th edition, a Handbook of Human Resource Management, practiced by Michael Armstrong. This book has taught me a lot of things, especially in terms of human resource management, which before I didn't know what SRM was, and after I studied this book, I quite understand what is SRM. The fourth, how many chapters has the book mentioned? Mention the title of chapter you have studied, and what does each chapter tell you? What have you got from studying the chapter in this book? Well, so in this book there are many parts, namely are 12 parts and 59 chapters. I've studied the book so far. I've learned 12 chapters from beginning enter Human Resource Management class until now. The first chapter is entitled about Human Resource Management. This chapter teaches about the definition Human Resource Management, what is SRM, SRM models, human resource cycle, and many else. The second chapter is capital management. This chapter teaches human capital management divided, human capital management, and human resource management. The concept of human capital management, human capital measurement, and human capital reporting. The chapter 3, namely the role of the HR function. This chapter teaches the overall of the SR function, the role of SR facilitating and managing change, variation in the practice of SR, organizing the SR function, marketing of SR function, preparing, justifying, and protecting the SR budget. Also, arching SR works, share SR service, using management consultant, and evaluating the SR function. Fourth chapter is the role of SR practitioner. This chapter teaches about the basic roles, models, practitioners about SR, gaining and support and commitment, ethical consideration, professionalism in SRM, ambiguity in the role of SR practitioner, and conflict in the HR contribution, manager role in implementing SR policy, how to improve frontline manager as people manager, and the sixth, international SRM. Teach about international divided issues and international SRM, international organizational models, convergence and divergence, cultural diversity, think globally and locally, international SR, policy and managing experiences. 7. Strategic SRM, which teach about concept strategy. Strategic SRM divided aims of SRM strategy. Approach to the strategic SRM and implementing strategic SRM. 8 XR strategies which teach about SR strategies divided. Purpose, the distinction between strategic SRM and HR strategies. Type of HR strategies. Criteria for an effective HR strategy. Developing and implementing SR strategies about the developing process, level of strategic, decision-making strategic option, and choice. Approach to SR strategy development, methodology for strategy development, conducting a strategic review, setting out of the strategic decision making. SRM police on what human resource police. Why have SR police? Do police need to be formalized? SR police area formulating SR police and implementing SR police. Competence use competence development, a competency framework, defining technical competence, key to success in using competence, and emotional intelligence. SR to knowledge management. The 5. Are you active in your study of SRM? At Zoom meeting class, mention the proof that you are active during your study of SRM. So, in the SRM class, in Zoom, I tend not to be too active. I prefer to listen my friend and my lecturer, Sir Adi, because I don't know how much about SRM. But as time goes by, I will start to be active in SRM lesson. So, the 6. How many groups have done the presentation? What can you learn and get from their presentation? What can you learn from your own presentation? Group that have you done the presentation, there are 12 group. I learned many things. One, for example, based on the provision of learning, development and training opportunities in order to improve individual, team, and organizational performance. For what I learned from my group are development and implementing HR, such as provision about the development process, strategic definition, and barrier to implementing SR. The 7. Are you interested in taking SRM? Why or why not? I'm actually interested in SRM subject, but I've entered into marketing concentration. Maybe I will study it when I graduate bachelor. So I already answered all of the question of part A. Now I would like to answer the question of part B. So the first question in part B is, mention and explain the definition of SRM to 5 experts. How you define SRM? SR strategy are described by Dyer and Reeve in 1995 as internally consistent bundles of human resource practice, and is the work of Boxall in 1996. They provide a framework of critical end and means. Richardson and Thompson in 1999 suggest a strategy, whether it is an HR strategy or any kind of management strategy, must two key elements. There must be strategic objective, things the strategy is supposed to achieve, and there must a plan of action, the mean by which is proposed that the objective will be met. Human resource functions for the future are helping employees make their way from entry level to senior staff member, offering them training opportunity and guiding them through their professional development throughout their employee journey. This can lead to better organizational efficiency and help retain employee and acquire new talent for business need. Session in 1995 have commented HR management is not single homogeneous occupation. It involves a variety of role activity that differ from one organization to another, from one level to another in the same organization. Last HRM was divided by Hall in 1985 as the individual of need, skill, and active management of learning for the long-range future in relation to explicit corporate and business strategy. Business SR policy, especially in big company, is useful to ensure that your staff are well aware to the right responsibility at work. It also reinforces a standard and acceptable behavior on conduct in workplace. So the second question is, explain the future role is human resource function. The future of HR is employee facing. Newer responsibility of HR professional include helping employee make their way from entry level to senior staff member, offering them training opportunity and guiding them through the professional development throughout their employee journey. The third question, why must the company have HR policy? Human resource policy and produce are important as they provide structure, control, consistency, fairness, and reasonable in SME. They also ensure compliance with employee legislation and inform employee of their responsibility and the company expectation. Okay, next for the fourth question. Question number 4. Explain the concept of strategy according to Johnson and Scholes in 1993. Strategy has been defined by Johnson and Scholes in 1993 as the direction and scope of our organization over the longer term, which ideally matches its resource, its changing environment, and in particular to its market, customer, and client to meet stakeholder expectation. Strategy determines the direction in which organization is going in relation to its environment. It is the process of defining intention, strategic intent, and allocating or matching resource to opportunity and need. Resource-based strategy, business strategy is considered with achieving competitive advantage, and the effective development and implementation of strategy depends on strategic capability on the organization manager. Strategy is expression, strategic goals, and developed in implemented in strategic plan through the process of strategic management. Strategy is about implementation, which include of management of change, as well as planning. The fifth question: what is the aim of strategic SRM? Strategic human resource management is the connection between company human resource and its strategy, objective, and goals. The aim of strategic human resource management is to advance flexibility, innovation, and competitive advantage, develop a fit-for-purpose organizational culture. The sixth, explain the type of SR strategies. There are two basic types of SR strategies can be identified. The first one is overarching strategies, and the second one is specific strategies relating to the different aspects of human resource management. Overarching strategies describe the general intention of the organization about how people should be managed and developed. What steps should be taken to ensure that SR process, the organization can attract and retain that people it needs, and ensure so far as possible that employees are committed, motivated, and engaged. The example of overarching strategies are AGAN, B&K, AIC, and many more. Specific HR strategies set out how the organization intends to do in areas such as talent management, how the organization intends to win the war for talent, continuous improvement, providing for focus and continuous incremental, innovating, sustained over a period of time. Knowledge management, creating, acquiring, capturing, sharing, and using knowledge to enhance learn and performance. Resourcing, attracting and retaining high-quality people. Learning and development, providing an environment in which employees are encouraged to learn and develop. Reward, defining what the organization wants to do in the longer term to develop and implement reward policy, practice, and process that will further the achieve of each business goal and meet the needs of its stakeholder. Employee relation, defining the intention of the organization about what needs to be done and what needs to be changed in the way in which organization manage in relationship with employee of their trade union. 7. What is competency? Explain what competency framework. How important is competency framework at workplace? So, competency-based SRM is about using the concept of competency and the result of competency analysis to inform the improve the process of perform management, recruitment, and selecting employee development and employee reward. The language has dominated much of SR thinking and practice in recent years. Competency framework contains definition of all the behavioral competency used in the whole of part of an organization. It provides the basis for the use of competency in such areas as recruitment, employee development, and reward. The 2003 and for competency and emotional intelligence survey established that the 49 framework review had a total of 553 competency headings. Presumably, many of these overlap. The most common number in competencies was 8. Competency framework at workplace is important. The application of competencies to appraisal, training, and other personal process will help to increase the performance of employee. And second, the competencies provide a means of articulating corporate value so that their requirement can be embodied in HR practice and be readily understood by individual and team within the organization. Other reasons include the use of competency as means of achieving culture change of raising skill level. How many steps are there to develop competency framework? Mention and explain the step for developing competency framework. There are 10 steps to develop a competency framework. Step 1. Program launch. Decided on the purpose of the framework and the HR process for where it will be used, make out a business case for its development, setting out the benefit to the organization in such area, improved performance, better selection, outcomes, more focused performance management, employee development by reward process. Prepare a project plan that includes assessment of the resource required and the cost. And step 2. Involvement and communication. Involve line manager and employee in the design of the framework. Stage 3 and 4 by setting up the task force. Communicate the objective to exercise to staff. Step 3. Framework design. Competency list first. Get the task force to draw up a list the core competencies and value of the business. What it should be good at doing and value and belief should influence behavior. Step 3. Framework design. Definition and competition care need to be exercised to ensure that definitions are clearly and unambiguous and that they will serve their intent purpose. For example, one of the purpose is to provide criteria for conducting performance review, then it's necessary to ascertain that the way the competency is divided, together with supporting example, will enable fair assessment to be made. Step 5. Define use competency framework. Define exactly how its intended competency framework should be used, covering such application as performance management, recruitment, learning and development, and reward. Step 6. Test the framework. Test the framework by gauging the reaction of balanced selection of line manager and other employee to ensure that they understand it is believed that it is relevant through their roles. Step 7. Finalize the framework. Amend the framework as necessary following the test and prepare notes for guidance on how it should be used. Step 8. Communicate. Let everyone know the outcome of the project, what the framework is, how it will be used, and how people will benefit. Group briefing and any other suitable means should be used. Step 9. Train, give line manager and HR staff training in how to use the framework. Step 10. Monitor and evaluate the use of the framework and amend is required. The 9. I explained the concept of knowledge to Blackler in 1995. What is knowledge management? Blackler in 1995 notes that knowledge is multifaceted and complex, being both sweet and abstract, implicit, explicit, distributed and individual, physical and mental, development and static, verbal and encoded. He categorized from the knowledge as embedded in technologies, rules and organization procedure, and culture as collective understanding, story, value, and belief, embodied into a practical activity-based competence and skill of key member of the organization, practical knowledge or know-how, embedded as the conceptual understanding, the cognitive skill of key member, conceptual knowledge or know-how. Knowledge management is concerned with storing and sharing the wisdom, understanding, expertise accumulated in organization about the process, technique, and operation. The 10. Mention and explain the type of knowledge, and mention and explain the purpose of significance of knowledge management. Explicit knowledge can be codified. It is recorded and available, and is held in database, in corporate, internets, and intellectual property portfolios. Tacit knowledge exists in people's mind. It is difficult to articulate in writing and accurate through personal experience. As explained by Blake in 1998, the purpose of knowledge management is to capture a company collective expertise and distribute it to wherever it can achieve the biggest payoff. This is in accordance with the resource-based view of the firm, which, as argued by Grant in 1991, suggests that the sort of competitive advantage lie with the firm. Example in its people and their knowledge. Know it how it positions itself in the market. Trussell in 1998 comment the capability to gather, lever, and use knowledge eventually will become a major source of competitive advantage in many business. Over the next few years, a successful company is knowledge-creating company. Knowledge management is about getting knowledge from those who have it, thus who need in order to improve organizational effectiveness. This is my answer for part B. Now I will answer the question for the last part. Part C. Okay, so I have watched the video 1. So the question is, have you watched the video completely? Yes, I had watched the video completely. The second, what is the video about? The video tells about the person in Human Resource Management Division which have different perspectives in their way of managing of human resource management. For Lunar manager, so mean and concerned about her employee. Meanwhile, Luvia is very concerned with his employee, kind and generous. The third, how do you find the manager in this video? I find manager why try to introduce themselves in the beginning of the video. And the fourth, what lesson can you get from watching the video 1 above? In this video, I learned that being a manager is not easy. Many things that a manager has considered and to take care, the manager has to be firm but also respect the employee job too. Because if we don't do that, it will make so many miscommunication and company will also not working well. The 5. If you were a manager in a company, what will you do to make your people happy? If I become a manager in a company, I will give a reward employee fairly, equitably, and consistently in accordance with their value, the organization, and thus help the organization to achieve its strategies goals. So make them feel excited to do their job. I have answered all the question on part C, first video. And now I want to answer the question on second video. So the second video, I already watched it. And the question is, what is the video 2 about? The video tells about the company that have problem with the employee because of the manager is too corrupt and their unfair division. The second, what is the problem faced by company in this video 2? The problem faced by the company are the one manager is corrupt, the workload of employee is too much, and the salary is not appropriate. How do you find a manager in this company? So we can see it from the job, which as we know, manager is one of managed employee. The fourth, what can you learn from watching this video? We can learn from the video at the being a manager, we must control our employee, not giving them too much work. We also must control their condition while they work in our company. If there are pressure due to work, as a manager, we must be wise. So I already answered all the question on second video, and I wanted to answer the question on third video. Okay, so I already watched video number 3. So the question of video 3, the first one is, have you watched the video completely? Yes, I have watched the video completely. So the second one is, what is the video about? This video tells about the company have a problem with the market share and sales. Then the local customer moved to the other company. The boss get angry and held a meeting with the manager to solve the problem. Then the video tells how the boss is not treat their employee well and don't get an appropriate salary. The third, mention and people in the meeting room. What are their occupation? The first one is Hendy Tendra as a CEO. The second, Karin Sanjaya as a secretary. S. Conceptian as a marketing manager sharing the data that have done total of sale, percent of the market selling. Salvador Perwono as an operation manager sharing the data to the CEO and secretary, tell the production in the day. Ken Cristanto as a financial manager sharing the financial report to CEO, secretary. Daniel Giovanni as a SRM manager. The fourth question, how do you find the manager in the company? As we know and see, we can see from their job as the manager is who manages employee do the work. The five, what do the people in company do after they are called by the manager? All the manager are discussing what they have to do to their company. They also taking about their salary because the amount that not fair with what they have done their job. The sixth, what lesson can you get from watching the video one above? As a leader of our company, we must protect, care, and most important is must contribute to everything in the company, such as monitoring work and many other things. The leader must also have generous character because the manager and employee are doing very well already. If this can be implemented properly, the company will also run well. Alright, so this is the end of the question on the third video of part C. So this is the end my video. So I'm very grateful and because I able to answer that question, and thank you so much for everyone who's watching my video. That's all. Thank you.